Welcome back to Hollywood Bulletin. Today's story will take you behind the glamorous world of Hollywood and reveal the heartbreaking truth. Lee Majors finally confirmed about his love story with Farrah Fawcett, so make sure you watch till the end because you will not want to miss a single detail. Farrah Fawcett and Lee Majors were once seen as Hollywood royalty, admired by millions for their looks, talent, and seemingly perfect life. But behind the red carpets and flashing cameras, their marriage was filled with struggles and heartbreak. Lee stayed silent for decades about their painful split, but now his words revealed just how deeply the breakup affected him. Before they became one of the most famous couples in Hollywood, they were just two people chasing big dreams. Lee Majors, born Harvey Lee Yeary in 1939 in Michigan, lost both parents before the age of 2. Raised by relatives in Kentucky, he grew up quiet and reserved, focusing on sports rather than acting. A football injury ended his athletic career, pushing him to try acting. He moved to Los Angeles and, after small roles, landed his big break in 1965 as Heath Barkley in The Big Valley. Farrah Fawcett was born in Texas in 1947. Known for her beauty and sunny personality, she won beauty contests and gained popularity as a cheerleader. She was named one of the 10 most beautiful college students in the country, which led her to Hollywood. She quickly became a popular model and actress, landing commercials and small TV roles. Her natural charm and glowing smile made her unforgettable. Two met at a party in Los Angeles in the late 1960s. Lee was already a rising TV star, while Farrah was still finding her footing. Their connection was instant, and they soon began dating. By 1973, they married, and the media painted them as the perfect couple. Lee's career soared with the $6 million man, while Farrah gained momentum in modeling and acting. However, the demands of fame soon began to test their relationship. Lee's long filming hours and Farrah's growing career kept them apart. Farrah, while still in love with Lee, wanted to build her own identity rather than just be known as his wife. Their emotional distance grew, and by 1976, things changed. Dramatically, when Farrah was cast in Charlie's Angels, the show turned her into an overnight global icon, and her famous red swimsuit poster sold millions of copies. With fame came an even busier schedule, and their time together became rare. Lee tried to save their relationship, even requesting schedule changes so they could spend evenings together. But Farrah declined, not wanting to rely on him for her choices. This deeply hurt Lee and widened the gap between them. By the late 1970s, they were living separate lives emotionally. Then came the final blow. Farrah began a relationship with actor Ryan O'Neal, a man Lee knew personally. Their romance quickly became public, and Lee found out through the tabloids like everyone else. Photos of Farrah and Ryan together shattered him. Though still legally married, Farrah had clearly moved on, leaving Lee blindsided. Unlike many stars, Lee didn't speak to the press or share his side of the story. He withdrew completely, avoiding events and interviews about Farrah. His silence was his way of protecting himself from more pain. Friends said he was never quite the same after the breakup, choosing to stay guarded in relationships that followed. Farrah, on the other hand, remained in the spotlight. Her relationship with Ryan O'Neal was dramatic and closely followed by the media, with breakups and reconciliations playing out publicly. Lee, meanwhile, stayed away from the chaos and focused on his work, starring in The Fall Guy. He never commented on Farrah or their marriage, even when the media speculated about their past. Years later, a mutual friend suggested Lee and Farrah meet privately to reconnect, but Lee refused. He admitted he missed the person she once was, but didn't want to reopen old wounds. He had spent years healing and wasn't ready to revisit the pain. In 2006, Farrah was diagnosed with a rare cancer. The public followed her journey through a documentary that showed her strength and vulnerability. Lee stayed silent, didn't visit her, and didn't speak about her illness. Those who knew him understood it wasn't because he didn't care, but because distance was the only way he could cope with his emotions. Farrah passed away in June 2009, and the world mourned her loss. Many wondered if Lee would finally share his feelings, and he did, but in just one heartfelt sentence. "She was an angel on earth and now an angel forever," he said. He didn't attend the funeral, and he didn't appear in the media. His silence spoke louder than words ever could. For years, people speculated about what Lee truly felt. Some thought he had moved on easily. Others believed he was angry. But his final words proved the truth. He had loved her deeply and never stopped caring. Speaking more would have forced him to reopen painful memories, and he had chosen to grieve quietly, just as he had lived quietly after their breakup. Some love stories never get a neat ending, and some heartbreaks leave scars that never truly fade. Lee Majors' silence wasn't a lack of love. It was proof of how much Farrah meant to him. If this story touched your heart, make sure you subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin and press the bell icon so you never miss another unforgettable Hollywood story.